Hello! Today we're going to be focusing on titles, spacing, and alignment. Now, all of these things will change how your paper is going to look. Okay? So, as we go forward, this is just an example of what your paper should look like. Your title should be bigger than the body. It should be in Times New Roman. And the title should be in the center of the page. Let's practice. Type along with me as we create an example. So when I look at my page, my cursor, or this little blinky line here that tells me where I'm going to be typing, is all the way on the left side. Okay, now even when you are handwriting a paper, you normally put your title where? The middle. Well, we need to put our cursor in the middle. Now you could say, oh, I know how to do this, and you can just press the space bar a whole bunch of times. That doesn't really work. So, here's the part we're going to follow along with me. Go ahead. Do you see where it says alignment here? This is where it shows me it's going to be all the way on the left. But if I look at this one, it says center text when I highlight over it. You are going to click that one. Now notice, my little blinky line is now in the middle of the page. So that's where we need to be. Now another thing we need to do is we need to make our title bigger. To do that, we are going to go over here, and do you see this little up arrow? We are going to press it. Now notice if I press it once, that 12 becomes a 13. 13 to 14, 15, 16. That's where we want it to be when we create our title. So our title for this example is going to be Spring Break. So, remember you're going to want to use the Shift key to make your capital S and your capital B. So let's go ahead. Shift S, P, R, I, N, G, spacebar, Shift B, R, E, A, K. Okay, go ahead, pause if you need to catch up at this point. Make sure your paper looks like mine. Okay, now we're ready to start typing our paper. First thing we need to do is press enter. Well, if I start typing here, it's going to be really close together. All my lines are going to be really close together, and that can be a bit difficult to read. So instead, I'm going to press my delete key and take me back beside that K. Now I'm going to look at spacing. So we've done titles. Now we're moving on to spacing. Now look here, spacing. I want to change my spacing to double. So I'm going to click that button there. I'm going to go down and I'm going to put that 2.0, or it just says double. Now that didn't change anything yet. But when I press my enter key now, it gives me a space between the line that I typed before and the line I am about to type. Okay, so when we say it needs to be double spaced, this is what we are talking about. Okay? Now, I'm not going to start typing in the middle of my page. When you write, a paper, you start writing on the left side of the paper. Well, you need to do the same thing when you're typing. The only exemption there might be for that would probably be poetry. A lot of times poetry is centered in the page. But we're not working on poetry today. We're going to tell a story. So to do that, I need to change my alignment back to the left. So I'm going to click that button there. Now I'm ready to type. Okay, I'm going to tell a short story about my spring break. So would you follow along with me? Oh dear. That's a bit big, isn't it? We need to make it a size 12 when we type. So go ahead, press delete key. And we want to go up here. And we want to use that arrow down now to make sure that reads 12. Now it should be the perfect size for our paper. So let's begin again. On spring break, I went to the zoo. Period. I wanted to see the elephants. Period. They are my favorite animal. I was so excited! Exclamation mark. Okay, go ahead, make sure your paper looks like mine. Okay, did you make sure your title has 2 capital letters? Is it bigger? Is it in the size 16 font? Is it in the center of your page? Okay, when you went down here, on spring break, I went to the zoo. I wanted to see the elephants. They are my favorite animal. I was so excited. Is that smaller than your title? Is it in the size 12? And is it pushed to the left? If so, you are good to move on to the next activity. If you have any questions, make sure you ask the teacher in the room. I will see you real soon.